Hi everybody, thank you for joining me. My name is Debbie and I'm on the creative design team at Sizzix. I'm here today to share with you a project I created using our charity dies. I've used our die set that comes with the rainbow and the clouds and also the sentiments. The sentiments give you all sorts of different options to choose from. I figured I'm not going to do rain and say positive vibes because some people don't like the rain, don't think it's positive. I do, but I just thought I would do it without the raindrops. You have all these wonderful sentiments. Thank you, better days ahead, smile, all sorts of ones that you can use that cut perfectly on any of our cardstock, thin foil, all sorts of product. We also have the rainbows. Now the rainbow die creates individual rainbow arches. So I was able to use all of our cardstock colors, well not all of them, an assortment of them, to create the full rainbow effect. So I used our primrose, the hibiscus, the banana blast, the mermaid kiss, agave, and the bluebell. I also threw in behind the positive vibes sentiment so you could read it a little better and it would pop. I used our silver glitter paper that comes in our Opulent cardstock. So let me show you how I got this started. Now if you're familiar, hopefully you've already learned about our charity dies. They go towards Action Against Hunger in the UK, Trussell Trust in the UK, and Feeding America in the US. The European ones go £6 and €7, and the US, the proceeds are $10. They get sorted out and it's across the board. It goes towards the COVID-19 response and it also is towards nutritional issues and malnutrition. So let me get you started. I'm going to use our bluebell. I folded it in half. And then I also have another piece on top that's going to be just the front panel. So what I did is I took our cloud die and the blade, if you're familiar with them, this is a framelit. The blade is right there around the inside there, so it cut perfectly. The framelits are perfect if you're going to do any kind of photo or sentiments and you want to cut around it, so I have to put my glasses on. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to position it, I'm going to put it about right here. So if you're familiar with our machine, you always have to have a die cut with their blade going down against the paper, obviously. And then you need a cutting pad on the bottom and one on the top. So I'm going to go ahead and run it through. You'll hear the crackling, but don't worry, it's just the blade. Oh, it didn't crackle too much. Usually if you hear the crackling, some people panic, and it's just the blade hitting the paper and the rollers. So there you go, we got that cut out perfectly like that. Now what I want to do next is cut my arches of my rainbow. So I'm just going to show you how many it cuts out. You don't need to sit here and watch me cut all of them, but I will just do a few. So you can see how many you cut out. And then since I'm going to be using all these, you'll be able to see that you're able to use them in another project. That way you can have a different assortment of colors going in a different arrangement. So I'm laying it down. That's the crackling I was talking about, but never fear, it doesn't damage anything. So what you have, look at the detail here. This would be fun to add to the front of a card also, cut beautifully like that. And then I have all these individual arches. So what I'm going to do is, I would normally have my die pick, but I think it rolled away off the table. So I'm just going to pop it out with my scissor. So I have all these arches ready to go. I've already pre-cut them. So if I wanted to, I could lay it down and cut more than one at a time because of this is not something that you could also do any kind of adhesive, any kind. You could use our adhesive sheet behind it, and I'll show you how I did that also when I do one of the clouds. So just say I wanted to cut more than one at a time. Because there's so much pressure on the machine, I can run it through with multiple pieces. Just because I know the cardstock that I'm using. Obviously, if you're using something a little bit thicker, you can only do one at a time. That was the crackling. You see how it cut out? Perfect. Okay, so I don't need all these because I pre-cut a bunch of them. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to show you how I used our adhesive sheets. Our adhesive sheets is a 6x6 adhesive. It's double-sided. So what I did already is I laid down a piece of my cardstock. This is using our Arctic Blue cardstock, Arctic Sky, sorry. I already have it laid down there. So to avoid any kind of gumminess on my scissor, I like to cut it while it still has adhesive, the backing paper on the top and on the bottom. Otherwise, I'd have to be cleaning my scissor all the time because it gets gummed up. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm just gonna cut my cloud one more time. So that way the cloud is gonna be a perfect sticker. Another cutting pad on top. Now if you're familiar with our machine, you know that it comes with all sorts of other tools and accessories and dies, but did you know that we also have other product that coordinates with all of our papers? We have sculpting foam, we have, see, it's a perfect sticker. We've got felt, we've got glitter, sequins, beads, all the cardstocks, we've got embossing powder. It all coordinates together, so when you're doing a project, I know that there's an embossing powder that matches this, there's an embossing powder that matches hibiscus. So I've got that ready to go. Okay, so we've got this cloud, so I want to cut out my positive vibes. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make sure it's not upside down. And I'm going to lay it there on top of my cloud that's already cut. And I'm going to go ahead and put it on the machine. Lay it down like that. Cutting pads are clear, so I always lose it. Oh, it's already there on the bottom. Okay. Run that through. So I've got my words, positive vibes, cut out beautifully. I want to back it up with a glitter silver. So I'm going to cut the cloud again using the same cloud framelit on top of the silver glitter opulent paper. Run that through. And since it was the same die, I know it's going to match it perfectly behind the one that I just cut. And if you wanted, you could do it off to the side and do a silver lining. Get it? How fun would that be? But I'm just going to make it sure it's even. So this is already sticker because I had that adhesive backing, so we know it's ready to go. And I know it's going to match up perfectly. Move it over here, sorry. And it shows through beautifully. So I've got my card. Got the positive vibes. I already have some of my clouds already pre-cut and also with adhesive backing. So I'm going to go ahead and lay that on the front panel. So this is the front panel that I'd already done. So I'm going to go ahead and lay this one down. It's up to you how you want to do it. I'm just going to have it so it looks like it's coming off of the front of the card. Let me go ahead and cut that. So you have a straight edge, so it looks like it's floating off. We've got that one. And then this one, I did not do the adhesive backing because I want to show you how much I love our express glue. I'm going to put a little bit on there and rub the rest on with my finger. This will be hanging off of the bottom also. So I'm just going to have a portion up because that's where the cloud, the rainbow is going to be tapering and hanging off of that one, that side. So I'm going to take this little excess piece that I have from the other part and I'll just put it there on that side. And then I'm going to trim it off. Okay, so this is just bent away a little bit. I'll trim it when I'm ready. But I have the arches of the rainbow already ready. So I'm going to position them how I want them to be. They angle down because you know it's going to be perfectly matching underneath it. And you want it, since when I cut them, I want to make sure that they're going to be even, obviously, because it was using the same die set, but I want to make sure they're even here so they'll be positioned perfectly once they're coming through the cloud from the back into the front. So you want them to hang off just a little bit so I can trim them there. So I got that there like that. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue so the other ones can be positioned perfectly behind there. And they won't slip around as I lay them down. Okay. The next color is the Banana Blast. And bring that through the front. I'm already slipping a little bit, okay. Whoops, a little more glue. Next one is the Mermaid Kiss. See that? And the last one is the, whoa, that one decided to come up. The last one is the Agave. You just thread them through. Look at the agaves being a little pesky here. Make sure they're all positioned. Bring the agave one down a little bit. And this is where I want to hide it behind that cloud. Okay. Put a little bit of glue here. Just a little dot so I know they'll stay put. And now I'm going to trim them. If I can find my scissor. So the fact that the proceeds go towards this cause, especially during these times when obviously hunger is an issue all the time, but during these times there's a lot more going on, and it's just so nice that we have people like you that are willing to help the cause and reaching out to those that are not as fortunate as the rest of us. Let me share these little pieces down. And then the rest of the cloud. Okay, so for the positive vibes, let me show you a trick that I love. So we have our adhesive foam tape. It's very thick, it's perfect for doing any of your three-dimensional projects, but if I want them to be extra 3D, I like to fold it on itself, and me, and then cut it here. So like I said before, when I use adhesive tape, or the adhesive sheets, when I cut it, when there's adhesive backing paper on both sides, my scissors aren't going to get too gummed up. So then this way I have a few pieces that I can cut, and they're a double layer of our thickness of our foam tape. So works perfectly if you want to have a lot of dimension on your project. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on the back of my Positive Vibes cloud, if I can find it. There it is. So that way, got a nice dimension on there. I'm going to have it showing partially over the clouds, and then I'm going to trim off that piece here. Okay, so the front of the card's ready to go. So with the card that I had already cut and scored, I'm going to do the same technique, and I already have them ready to go with the tape. So I did them longer, and then I cut them down the middle. So that way it'll do a little dimension so you can see a little space in between your rainbow and the base behind it. This is extra sticky, so you know it. Once it's down, it's down. I love it. Because some adhesives don't stay put, and you go to deliver the card, and all of a sudden, there's nothing. All your pieces fell off, so this is perfect. With our embossing powder, it would be a fun idea if you took the coordinated embossing powder and matched it up against one of the arches of the rainbow. That would be fun. Or glitter, have one of your arches glittery. That'd be great. Let's see. There's one more piece. Almost done. We would love to see what you create with our projects. If you do a project with your charity die when you get it, or hopefully you've already done some, go ahead and take a few pictures and send it to us, and post it on our site on Donate to Create, I believe it's called. Let me see. And we might be able to post it, which would be great for you to see yours on our platform. And there we have it. Sending positive vibes to all of you, hoping you're staying well and staying safe, and we look forward to seeing what you create. Send us any comments that you might have, and we will answer them as soon as we get a chance. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you again next time.